safety message there, talking about driving. It's always safe to put on a seatbelt so that accident is something that you do not plan for. But if it happens, at least you have something to protect you. The program is still here this morning on ITV, and of course I told you that we are going to be looking at the issue of security of lives and property, most especially in Edo State, in Benin City. Recent development confirms that killings here and there, destruction of lives and properties, and also it borders on the youth. It also borders on looking at youthful exuberance and see how we can actually advise ourselves that there is need for us to keep safe, keep life and property very safe. Well, to look at cultism and youthful exuberance and the challenge of insecurity, we are so privileged to have Mr. John Osazua here with us this morning. He is a lecturer with the Department of Post Science and Public Administration with the University of Benin. And he's so conversant with youths, the way they behave, and maybe somehow, you know, some of this exuberance attitude as it relates to the youth. Mr. John Osazua, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It's been quite some time on this show. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Now, let's get your insights on some of the developments in Benin City. You know, the recent court killings here and there. Only yesterday we heard that a certain guy was killed at Unity Street, very close to us here in Oluku. And pockets of reports here and there, most especially in Upper Sukwamba road area of the city. So what do you make of the developments?
Thank you very much. First of all, I greet you once again, my very humble and noble audience and good people of Edo State. Yes, security has several, it's a relative concept that has several definitions that can be defined that way. Primarily or commonly it is seen as a situation, a scenario in which the lives and properties of the people within that particular locality are being protected, being guided, being directed, aimed at producing a harmonious coexistence. In other words, that is the responsibility of the government and the people. It arose simply because of people realizing to leave the state of nature as prompted by Thomas Hobbes, where life was short, brutish, and nasty, and solitary. That is, you had no control over people's life. It was a life of survival of the fittest, which is actually playing out now in Edo State like any other places where you have court clashes. You have several types of security or insecurity. You have human security, you have physical security. The most important one, which people are actually adducing to that poverty leads them to kind of deviant activity, that is human security. Human security is about provision of foods, you know, good shelter and good water. That is, when people have this, then they have a kind of a comfort, a psychological and social psychological comfort within them. Yes, there is a meal, there is a food, there is water, there is shelter for them to do. However, we're talking about the physical insecurity which has played out in Edo State. And this physical insecurity, you know, the one that is happening in Edo State has actually defied all theories that are propounded that will help influence or that can influence aggression which will lead to such dastardly or devilish. That is theory of alienation. And the theory of alienation simply means that when people are actually separated from their own rights, from their own opportunities, from their own means of getting something, they become aggressive. They're likely to become aggressive and begin to unleash mayhem onto innocent and government people. You also have a theory of deprivation. That is, people are deprived from what they are supposed to get. But in this scenario, here you are again, what happened, what has played out in the last few weeks in Edo State, also defied this theory. Then the question will not be what is actually happening.
Yeah.
Now, if this has defied the theory, which of course we have called social constructivism, that is, you begin to say what are the possible, because this is where concepts, you know, begin to come in to actually link it to what is happening. What is actually happening is complete deviancy, societal decay, and organizational decay. Now, why I say societal decay is that we are practicing democracy, and most of these groups and associations are relying on the fundamental human rights as contained in section 30 to section 40, you know, freedom of association. Freedom of association, unfortunately, the Constitution did not also provide limitations. There are limitations of association. There are limitations of speech. There are limitations to these various freedom of association. The government and people of Edo State and Nigeria at large and the world at large do not actually discourage freedom of association. But what kind of association? An association is a group or a component of people, of individuals and group of people with like minds to come together. Government allow this. If this group or associations will be promoting social, economic, social, political, social, religious harmony and growth within that particular locality. But when their activities become inimical, as demonstrated by this recent deviants, deviants, I call them deviants, you know, then it becomes questionable. Now, if you talk of deprivation, talking about you don't have jobs, government, there is no way in the world whereby government can provide jobs to every person. Now, take a scenario. What I mean by scenario, there are means you can. I'm not saying government. I will come to that. Where government can also play their role. Take a look at this particular situation. In Edo State, we never had this situation whereby this wheelbarrow pushers, you know, shoe cobblers. People leave Benin City, leave Edo State and some parts of the country to Libya and started doing shoe cobbling and other menial jobs. They were earning money and they were getting this. Now you saw the Hausa people coming to push this right. They make money every day. What about famine is there? That is why they say poverty is a thing of the mind. Now again, to be more precise, that we actually strike the people of Edo State. Yes, there is cultism. Cultism is a group of people of like minds who carry out the similar things. Now to the local balance, whereby you say cultism, yes, they are evil because they are called evil, labeled evil, simply because of the current or contemporary behavior of their group members. Because it is a common knowledge to the people of Edo State and Nigeria at large, and the world at large, because the world is now a global village, that a group of people, which the names are already there on the street, they're already there in the media, that they are constantly, continually, that is a painful aspect, continually, annually, particularly during this period, to perpetuate evil, killing each other. Why do you kill each other? I want to ask a question. I want to put a question to them. Many of you who are listening, who are members of this group. How many of you have seen whereby a member, your own member, was killed or has been killed, and the group contribute money to even buy coffee, not casket now. Then after that, they will now go and contribute money to help the families that they have left behind. Let me tell you what you have done. You have reduced the number of male population in Edo State, one, stupidly. Two,
we can't use such
with due respect. Sorry,
yeah.
I am pained.
Yeah.
You have created more widows. You have created more orphans. You have reduced, if not completely extinguished, socio-economic activities. People trade. They have been deprived. They have been. Think about it. Those and sisters, it's the time they come home. How can they come home? And when they come home, they are going to bring in some physical capital to assist us here. They cannot come. Then what do you think?
Okay, but let's look at this, because it somehow for to readily understand. I mean, we just protect. The first one was the lockdown, that was the interest and all that. Beginning to the recent allegations, and somehow not. How do we manage all this?
Was
related to what is going on now?
Clay that